In the top stories, Prime Minister Drew wraps up 2026 budget debate, highlights water and health investments. CARICOM Secretary General calls for regional unity in year-end message, and U.S. pursues sanctioned oil tanker near Venezuela. Hello and welcome to the ZIZ Midday Major Newscast. Today is Tuesday, 23rd December, and I am Jasmine Thomas. First on the local scene. Prime Minister the Honorable Dr. Terence Drew has wrapped up the 2026 National Budget debate in the National Assembly of St. Christopher and Nevis. Delivering his closing address, Dr. Drew responded to points raised by the opposition and addressed the country's budget deficit, saying his administration inherited financial challenges when it took office in 2022. The Prime Minister outlined major investments in infrastructure, including a $50 million EC desalination plant at the C.A. Paul Southwell Industrial Park. He said the facility will provide 24/7 water supply to 70% of households, with communities such as Cayon now having access to safe potable water. Dr. Drew also confirmed the discovery of additional groundwater sites across the island, which he said will support round-the-clock water access for all homes. The Prime Minister highlighted continued investment in health care, including support for families through the Children's Medical Fund, which assists with life-saving treatment and medication. He described the measures as critical steps toward improving quality of life and strengthening national development. 100 years of sporting excellence, marked by moments of triumph and heartbreak, alongside world-class music concerts, cultural showcases, and displays of national pride, will be commemorated on the 16th of April in 2026, when the historic Warner Park celebrates its centenary. During the budget debate on the 17th of December, Member of Parliament for the St. Christopher 4 said the Honorable Samuel Duggins shared that the anniversary will be celebrated next year with multiple events. The minister shared that a complete overhaul is being planned for the multi-purpose facility, which houses the Premier Cricket, football, tennis, and netball facilities. The government's vision is shaped by the recognition that sport is a powerful engine for transformation, which drives social inclusion, youth empowerment, health, and national pride, with offering a strategic avenue for economic and global engagement. The Nevis Disaster Management Department, NDMD, recently convened a pivotal district managers meeting at the Emergency Operations Center to mark a leadership transition and celebrate decades of volunteer service, underscoring its tireless dedication to community coordination, accountability, and resilience. This event symbolized a significant turning point in community disaster governance. In his opening remarks, Mr. C. Javier Otley, Community Liaison Officer at NDMD, emphasized the vital role of district chairs as the primary link between national disaster authorities and local communities. He noted their responsibility for ensuring timely information flow, coordinating volunteers, and protecting vulnerable populations during emergencies. A highlight of the event was a special presentation honoring Pastor Jennifer Weeks for over 34 years of dedicated volunteer service in disaster management. As former district chairperson for St. Thomas's Parish, Pastor Weeks was recognized for her leadership in shelter management, community preparedness, and emergency response, contributions that have significantly strengthened Nevis's resilience. Delivering the featured address, the Honorable Spencer Brand, Minister responsible for disaster management, commended newly appointed district chairs and long-serving volunteers for their steadfast commitment to public service. He underscored preparedness, response, and recovery as the pillars of effective disaster management and reaffirmed the government of Nevis's continued support for the Nevis Disaster Management Department and its volunteer network. National Emergency Management Agency NEMA Coordinator Mr. Livingston Pemberton emphasized the value of volunteerism, describing volunteers as priceless partners in national disaster preparedness and response. The NDMD Director Brian Dyer outlined the key roles and responsibilities of district chairs and highlighted the legislative framework governing district committees. He stressed the importance of community engagement, identifying vulnerable populations, conducting training and simulation exercises, coordinating shelters, and performing post-disaster assessments. We take a break. When we come back, we bring you the regional news. Welcome back. CARICOM Secretary General calls for regional unity in year-end message. Trinidad opposition leader accuses Prime Minister of dictatorial conduct. Unity and resilience as the year comes to a close. In her end-of-year message issued December 22nd, Dr. Barnett reflected on a challenging period marked by devastating hurricanes, including Beryl in 2024 and Melissa in 2025, which caused significant loss of life and damage in Jamaica and Haiti. She also pointed to ongoing geopolitical pressures that have threatened export earnings, regional peace, and sovereignty across the community. Despite these challenges, the Secretary General said the region demonstrated strong resilience, with member states mobilizing quickly to support affected countries and protect livelihoods. Dr. Barnett highlighted progress on regional integration, including moves by several member states to implement full free movement of people, as well as advances towards a comprehensive CARICOM industrial policy. She also noted cultural and democratic milestones, including CARIFESTA 15 and peaceful elections across the region. Looking ahead, the Secretary General said CARICOM will continue to prioritize human capital development, youth and women empowerment, disaster resilience, and food and nutrition security. She closed with a call for collective action to build a resilient, prosperous, and united Caribbean community in the year ahead. And Trinidad and Tobago opposition leader Penelope Beckles has raised sharp concerns over what she described as dictatorial behavior by Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar following the Prime Minister's response to public questions about what appears to be military installation in Tobago. In a statement issued Tuesday, Beckles said Persad-Bissessar's directive for citizens to behave yourself reflected a troubling disregard for accountability and democratic scrutiny. She warned that the Prime Minister's recent comments left more questions unanswered and demonstrated what she characterized as a dismissive attitude toward legitimate public inquiry. Beckles took particular issue with Persad-Bissessar's handling of reports surrounding what appears to be a military base in Tobago. She said that instead of addressing the matter directly, the Prime Minister attacked the opposition People's National Movement and dismissed public concern as nonsense. And now for a look at news on the international scene. President Donald Trump says the United States remains in active pursuit of an oil tanker near Venezuela, more than a day after the operation began. Speaking in West Palm Beach, Trump said authorities are confident they will intercept the vessel known as Bella 1, which U.S. officials believe is part of a shadow fleet transporting sanctioned oil. The U.S. Coast Guard has already intercepted multiple tankers in the Caribbean this month as the administration increases pressure on Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and moves to cut off oil revenues. Trump again raised the possibility of escalation, saying it would be smart for Maduro to step down while declining to spell out a clear endgame. The president also confirmed that any oil seized during interdictions would be kept by the United States with the option of adding to it the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. U.S. officials say naval operations in the region will continue as part of an expanded blockade targeting sanctioned ships moving in and out of Venezuela. The European Union has extended its economic sanctions against Russia for another 6 months, keeping measures in place until July 31, 2026. The EU Council says the decision is in response to Russia's continued military aggression against Ukraine, with restrictions targeting trade, finance, energy, transport, and technology. The sanctions include a ban on seaborne Russian oil imports, limits on luxury goods, and the removal of several Russian banks from the SWIFT payment system, and the suspension of Kremlin-backed media operations within the EU. Officials say the measures will remain as long as Russia continues to violate international law, leaving the door open for additional action if necessary. The extension comes amid slow-moving talks aimed at ending the war in Ukraine, with no major breakthrough reported so far. We now take a look at the weather. Present weather across St. Kitts and Nevis, partly cloudy skies. Winds a gentle breeze of 12 miles per hour from the east-northeast. Seas are 1.2 to 1.8 meters or 4 to 6 feet. Weather forecast for St. Kitts and Nevis. Today will be partly sunny with a 40% or moderate chance of showers. Weather tonight will be partly cloudy to cloudy with a 60% or a moderate chance of showers. Sunset this evening will be at approximately 5:43, and sunrise tomorrow morning is set for around 6:35. That brings us to the end of the Midday Major Newscast. Join us this evening for these stories and more in detail. Thank you for tuning in. I am Jasmine Thomas. God bless you and season's greetings.